On the evening of December 29th, 1980, three people, Betty Cash, Vicky Landrum, and Vicky's grandson Colby Landrum, witnessed a light in the sky on their way home from dinner. When the light landed, the two older women stepped out of their car to investigate the strange object. The object in question was a metal diamond with its sharp edges removed, and was said to be a similar size of a water tower. The sight was short-lived, but the aftermath left by its arrival proved almost deadly. Hey everyone, my name is Blast, and today we'll be discussing a bizarre UFO encounter known as the Cash Landrum Incident. So let's begin with the incident report. Around 9 p.m., Betty, Vicky, and Colby were driving home to Dayton, Texas in Betty's Oldsmobile after dining out. While driving on an isolated two-lane road through the woods, they saw a light above the trees, and at first, they thought it was an airplane approaching Houston Intercontinental Airport and didn't think much of it. A few minutes later on the road, they saw what they believed to be the same light as before, but now much closer and brighter. They said that it came from a huge diamond-shaped object which hovered at a treetop level, and that its base was expelling flame and emitting significant heat. Vicky told Betty to stop the car, fearing that they would be burned if they had gotten any closer. As a born-again Christian, Vicky interpreted the object as a sign of the second coming of Jesus Christ, telling Colby that's Jesus and he will not hurt us. Betty said she was anxious and considered turning the car around, but abandoned this idea because the road was too narrow and she presumed the car would get stuck on the dirt's shoulders, which were soft from that evening's rainfall. Betty and Vicky said that they got out of their car to examine the object, but that Colby was terrified, and so Vicky said she quickly returned to the car to comfort him, while Betty remained outside, mesmerized by the bizarre sight, as Jerome Clark of the UFO Encyclopedia wrote. Clark goes on to write, "The object, intensely bright and a dull metallic silver, was shaped like a huge upright diamond, about the size of the Dayton water tower, with its top and bottom cut off so that they were flat rather than pointed. Small blue lights ringed the center, and periodically over the next few minutes flames shot out of the bottom, flaring outward to create the effect of a large cone. Every time the fire dissipated, the UFO floated a few feet downward toward the road, but when the flames blasted out again, the object rose about the same distance." They said that the heat was strong enough to make the car's metal painful to the touch. Betty said she had to use her coat to protect her hand from being burned by the door handle when she finally got back in the car. When she touched the dashboard, Vicky claimed that her hand pressed into the softened vinyl, leaving an imprint that was evident weeks later. They said that the object then ascended over the treetops and rose higher in the sky, and then a group of helicopters approached it, surrounding it in tight formation. Betty and Vicky counted 23 helicopters and later identified some of them as tandem-rotor Boeing CH-47 Chinooks used by military forces worldwide. More specifically, Betty claimed that they had United States Air Force markings. With the road now clear, Betty says she drove on, claiming to see glimpses of the object and the helicopters receding into the distance. After the 20-minute encounter, Betty took the Landrums home and relaxed for the evening. However, that would not be the end of their claims. All three witnesses experienced similar symptoms, though Betty Cash experienced the brunt of it. They claimed that they were suffering from nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, generalized weakness, a burning sensation in the eyes, and feeling as though they were suffering from sunburn. Over the next few days, Betty Cash said that her symptoms worsened and that she had many large, painful blisters forming on her skin. When taken to a hospital emergency room on January 3rd, 1981, Jerome Clark, again, wrote that Betty could not walk and had lost large patches of skin and clumps of hair. She was released after 12 days, though her condition was not much better, and she later returned to the hospital for another 15 days. In a 1985 HBO documentary, UFOs: What's Going On, Betty's hair loss was shown in pictures, and she claimed doctors switched from treating her for burns to treating her for radiation sickness after realizing that she had been exposed to radiation. Later, she was treated for cancer. The Landrum's health was somewhat better, though reportedly both suffered from lingering weakness, skin sores, and hair loss. In April 1981, Vicky was found to be developing a cataract in one eye, and Betty was first treated for breast cancer in 1983. Neither condition was known to have been present prior to their UFO encounter. A man named Brad Sparks contended their ideas of radiation by assuming if it were a large amount of radiation, they would have been dead after a few days. But since they're alive, their symptoms must have been caused by chemical contamination, which he presumes to be an aerosol. In the end, they tried taking it to court due to their injuries, but on August 21st, 1986, the case was dismissed and all three of the victims lived long, healthy lives. What are your thoughts about the Cash Landrum incident? Do you believe? Let me know down in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's my first time exploring like some kind of weird mystery or odd occurrence in the world, which I want to do more of. I want to examine like creepypastas and urban legends and just stuff like that, spooky stories. So maybe I'll make this into a series if it does good enough. If not, well then maybe I'll still do it just with something more well known maybe. I don't know. So I'll see you in the next video, and bye-bye.